The Arctic, often thought of as a pristine, isolated expanse of ice and snow, is rapidly transforming into a stage for one of the most significant geopolitical competitions of the 21st century. Climate change, with its unprecedented effects, is melting Arctic ice, opening up new trade routes, access to untapped resources, and strategic military opportunities. In this episode, we'll explore how the Arctic is emerging as a hotspot for global competition among superpowers like Russia, NATO, and China, heralding what many are calling the new Cold War. The Arctic, a region of strategic importance. Let's start with why the Arctic matters. This region covers 8% of the Earth's surface and is home to vast, untapped reserves of natural gas, oil, and rare earth minerals. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that the Arctic holds about 13% of the world's undiscovered oil and 30% of its natural gas reserves. Additionally, as ice continues to melt, previously inaccessible shipping routes like the Northern Sea Route and the Northwest Passage are becoming viable for longer periods of the year. These routes can drastically cut travel time for global trade. For example, the Northern Sea Route reduces the journey between Asia and Europe by up to 40%. This economic potential makes the Arctic a coveted region for global powers. Now let's examine the role of climate change in shaping this new battleground. The Arctic is warming nearly 4 times faster than the rest of the planet. By 2030, we may witness ice-free summers, allowing unhindered access to key shipping routes and natural resources. This transformation unlocks new economic opportunities. Fishing, mineral extraction, and fossil fuel exploration in previously inaccessible areas are attracting global attention. However, this comes with grave consequences. The fragile Arctic ecosystem is at risk, and increased activity could accelerate climate degradation further. Russia's Arctic ambitions. Russia is leading the race for Arctic dominance. With its vast Arctic coastline, Russia views the region as a critical component of its national security and economic growth. Russia has reopened Soviet-era military bases, built new ones, and deployed advanced weaponry, including the S-400 missile defense system. It has also established the world's largest fleet of nuclear-powered icebreakers to ensure year-round access to the Northern Sea Route. Russia controls key Arctic oil and gas fields, such as the Yamal Peninsula, and is heavily investing in Arctic energy projects. These ventures are vital for Russia's economic survival, especially amid international sanctions. Now talking about nuclear strategy, Moscow has tested hypersonic missiles and other advanced nuclear-capable systems in the Arctic, signaling its intent to dominate the region militarily. NATO's countermeasures. In response to Russia's assertive Arctic policy, NATO and its allies are ramping up their presence in the region. First, let's talk about military exercises. NATO has conducted large-scale military drills, such as Operation Trident Juncture, involving tens of thousands of troops to demonstrate readiness in cold climates. Next, let's look at new alliances. Non-Arctic NATO members like the United Kingdom and Germany are also increasing their involvement. Countries like Sweden and Finland, historically neutral, have joined NATO, citing Arctic security as a key concern. And lastly, the technological edge. NATO is focusing on satellite surveillance, advanced submarines, and Arctic-capable drones to maintain a technological edge over Russia. China's Arctic strategy. China, though geographically distant from the Arctic, has declared itself a near-Arctic state and is increasingly asserting its influence. Let's start with economic interests. Beijing is investing heavily in Arctic infrastructure, including ports and shipping routes, as part of its Polar Silk Road initiative. China seeks to secure access to critical resources in the region. Now, let's consider scientific research or strategic cover. Officially, China's activities are focused on scientific research. However, its growing fleet of icebreakers and surveillance activities suggest a dual-use strategy that blends research with military and strategic goals. Finally, partnerships with Russia. China has forged partnerships with Russia for Arctic development projects, though their long-term interests in the region may not align. The risks of militarization. The Arctic's militarization comes with significant risks. First, there's the risk of conflict. With multiple nations deploying military assets, there's a heightened risk of accidental clashes or escalations. Second, environmental hazards. Increased human activity raises the likelihood of oil spills, pollution, and further environmental degradation. And third, global implications. The Arctic's strategic value makes it a flashpoint that could involve non-Arctic powers, escalating tensions worldwide. Looking ahead, what's next? The future of the Arctic will depend on international cooperation. United Nations treaties, the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, has been a framework for Arctic governance. But overlapping claims and violations could weaken its authority. The Arctic Council, established to promote peaceful cooperation, the Arctic Council has faced challenges in addressing security issues, especially with Russia's isolation post-Ukraine conflict. Technology and innovation advanced technologies will play a crucial role in shaping Arctic strategies, from icebreakers to climate monitoring systems. So in conclusion, we can say, the Arctic is no longer a frozen wasteland. It's a frontier of opportunity and competition, where the stakes are as high as the stakes in space exploration or global trade. The interplay between climate change, economic interests, and military strategy makes the Arctic a focal point for what could be a new Cold War. As the ice melts, tensions will undoubtedly heat up. The question remains, can nations balance competition with cooperation, or will the Arctic become the epicenter of future conflict? Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Arctic's transformation, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you think about this new Cold War. Stay tuned for more insights into global conflicts and defense strategies.